Faster my good evening and welcome to the Manx Radio Folk Show with me, John Barker, playing you the best in folk and roots music from the Isle of Man and around the world. And I start tonight with an old song from Natalie Merchant.
Calico pie, little bird fly down to the calico tree. Wings of blue, singing tilly tilly loo, till away they flew, but they never came back to me. Calico jam, little fish swam over the Syllabub Sea. Took off his hat to the soul and the spat and the willoughby bat, but he never came back to me. Never came back, never came back, he never came back to me. Never came back, never came back, he never came back to me. Oh, he never came back. Calico band, little mice ran to be ready for tea. Flippity flop, drank it all up, danced in the cup, but they never came back to me. Well, he never came back, never came back, he never came back to me. Never came back, never came back, he never came back to me. Oh, he never came back. Calico drum, grasshopper come, butterfly, beetle and bee. Over the ground, round and round, with a hop and a bound, but he never came back to me. Oh, he never came back, never came back, he never came back to me. Never came back, never came back, he never came back to me. Never came back, never came back, he never came back to me. Never came back, never came back, he never came back to me. Oh, he never came back, never came back, he never came back to me. Never came back, never came back, he never came back to me. Oh, he never came back.
Natalie Merchant first came to notice as the lead singer of 10,000 Maniacs, but she's had an absolutely amazing solo career since that band broke up quite a lot of years ago now, I think. She's got a new CD coming out, but the only track that's available for pre-release isn't really very folky, so I played an older song, Calico Pie, from her Leave Your Sleep album of 2010, which was an album based on children's rhymes. Chris Drever has a best-of album just coming out, and from it, this is a song called Cataline, which is a village in Aberdeenshire, and this song relates to the life of the painter Joe Eardley, who lived there from 1921 to 1963.
Cottages and beehives, winter sunset, cornfield at nightfall, drying salmon nets, January flow tide must seem like a far cry from the townhead and street kids, but they pay me the same mind, and I made a ground while I was watching the world turn around me. Cataline, Cataline, Cataline.
So that's from Chris Drever's Greatest Hits album just coming out, but it's actually a new song, that one. Now I came across Seamus and Quiver. I'll give this a go. Seamus and Quiver I Flatterata. They're a brother and sister duo from Connemara on the west coast of Ireland, and they were born into a village in the heart of the Gaeltacht region, so were fortunate enough to have been immersed in the traditions of Irish music, song and dance from a very young age. From their self-titled album, this is Eleanor na Run.
Morgen hedigen zu Eleanor na Run His Taffy makes me new Tra me men one Morgon till sig I kärlek Du ser skidna banen Everything just so Du ser skismin Som suarit sibio began Marses marhjolen gamla Svi boy ke gumao shi ne heng on gra Svi boy ke gudoy ke shi On Karlforon Mars Svi boele kinna Chanierod Shi gramochri Smoichecha Everything just so Tu seshes me chipog Som suarit sibio began Marses marhjolen gamla
Some amazing unaccompanied singing there from Seamus and Queever. They do a great version of the Beatles' Blackbird on that album. I'll play that for you in a few weeks' time. Now, Kathryn Tickell, well known as a Northumbrian piper, is also a great fiddle player, as demonstrated by these three tunes here. We've got the Old Morpeth Rant, the Morpeth Rant, and the Hesley Side Reel. The Morpeth Rant, the middle tune, is quite interesting because, well, it sounds very much like our Dewan Nan, the Manx tune which we use as the theme tune of this programme. See what you think. Three great Northumbrian tunes there from Kathryn Tickell on fiddle and Julian Sutton on melodeon. Now, Carsie Blanton is an American singer-songwriter, guitarist from Philadelphia, and she's playing at the Centenary Centre on Saturday night. Yes, that's Saturday the 15th of April. And you can get tickets, as far as I know. I'm recording this show a week ahead, so they may have all sold out by now. But you can normally get tickets from etickets.im and then follow the links to the Centenary Centre. From Carsie, this is Sister Says.
Don't be a stranger, try to be a friend. There ain't any danger letting someone in. And sister says to give what you can give. It's in the shelter of each other that we live. Well, I ain't an angel, start a little sanctuary to resurrect my heart. And sister says the wonders never cease. It's in the shelter of each other that we know peace. Don't be a stranger, there ain't no such thing. We're brothers and sisters in the love we bring. And sister says to give what you can give. It's in the shelter of each other that we live. Sister says to give what you can give. It's in the shelter of each other that we live.
Now, over the last 3 weeks, I've played you a version of the song Spencer the Rover by various people. Tonight is the last one. I'm going to go back to as close to the source as we can get. This is the Copper Family, and the song was actually collected by Bob Copper in 1954 from Jim Barrett at the Fox in North Waltham, Hants, and it was printed in his book Songs and Southern Breezes.
These words were composed by Spencer the Rover, who travelled Great Britain and most parts of Wales. He had been so reduced,
which caused great confusion,
and that was the reason he went on the road. In Yorkshire near Rotherham he had been on his rambles. Being weary of travelling he sat down to rest. At the foot of yonder mountain
there runs a clear fountain,
with bread and cold water he himself did refresh. It tasted more sweeter than the gold he had wasted, more sweeter than honey, and gave more content. But the thoughts of his babies,
lamenting their father,
brought tears in their eyes, which made him lament. The night fast approaching, to the woods he resorted, with woodbine and ivy his bed for to make. There he dreamt about sighing,
lamenting and crying,
go home to your family and rambling forsake. On the 5th of November I've a reason to remember, when first he arrived home to his family and wife. They stood so surprised
when first he arrived
to behold such a stranger once more in their sight. His children came around him with their prittle-prattling stories, with their prittle-prattling stories to drive care away. Now they are united,
like birds of one feather,
like bees in one hive, contented they'll be. So now he is a-living in his cottage contented, with woodbine and roses growing all around the door. He's as happy as those that
have thousands of riches.
Contented he'll stay and go a-rambling no more.
That was the Copper Family from their 2001 collection, Come Write Me Down. Now, Anish are a Manx band who have played at Lorient Festival. They released an album called The Way of the Gull in 2018. There's lots of familiar faces in there. You can find out more about them on their Facebook page and from their Bandcamp page, which is where I'm playing this track from. It's called Annabelle's. Very fine music from the Manx band Anish. I must play something else by them soon. Now, when it comes to Americana, Gillian Welch and David Rawlings are pretty much the top of the tree. They've released most of their music under the name Gillian Welch, but also some albums as David Rawlings, but the duo are always there, playing as if they were one. From 2011, this is the wonderful song Down Along the Dixie Line.
Banjos are strumming, horseflies are humming, ripe melons on the vine. The gold and the gray weeds sing, look away, way down along the Dixie line. I spent my childhood walking the wildwood down along the Dixie line. Freight trains are squalling, eyeballs are bawling, 4 engines at a time. I was so happy with Mama and Pappy down along the Dixie line. Can't you hear those drivers wail? Can't you see those bright rails shine? Gonna catch that fireball mail, leave the Northland far behind. A river of whiskey flows down in Dixie, down along the Dixie line. They pulled up the tracks now, I can't go back now, can't hardly keep from crying. Oh, do they miss me way down in Dixie, down along the Dixie line? Can't you hear those drivers wail? Can't you see those bright rails shine? Wanna catch that fireball mail, leave the Northland far behind. Down along the Dixie line.
From down along the Dixie line, we go down in the Willow Garden. This is from Rufus Wainwright's new CD, Folkocracy. Well, it's not actually released yet. This is a preview track, but it's going to be released very soon. Rufus, of course, is the son of Loudon Wainwright III and Kate McGarrigle, and the album title is a reference to this folk aristocracy.
Down in the willow garden, where me and my love did meet, as we sat a-courting, my love fell off to sleep. set me free. If I would murder that dear little girl whose name was Rose Connolly. My father sits at his cabin door, wiping his tear-dimmed eyes, for his only son soon shall walk to yonder scaffold high. My race is run beneath the sun. The scaffold now waits for me, for I did murder that dear little girl whose name was Rose Connolly.
Rufus Wainwright duetting there with Brandi Carlile. Now, I've played a couple of tracks from Sue Ali's album Dialogues. Here's another one. This is called Mo Ruin Gial Og, and it features Julie Fowlis.
A herrlich oig stewart, sé do chústein ma léirech, hu go bhfuam gach níomh agam an chogag na dyfod. Chach rews chach erich, ha mi cyiach mo chéile. Get the gach jem mi mynyr, gyn sians yn ddylach leine. Morwn gelog. Onish hogus yn claiw, nion i chael lianw, sgawn gyrraedd madr, onach madr mo hyd grach, ach cymer ioen iam nadar, fi gaich yn ysmian lwn. Ys mo hogrych o ladydd, horsd gwadydd mor un ma, morwn gelog. Bydwm ffermwr byfa cwmwch, od fwlach gydfrogan, fad y lys mar yn ialas, blas na mielir dy ffogan. Dalt dwalach dan wyrach, ma dy fwyniar yn norsdw. Seg o camalwbach cymys, sgachan torstwram dy foiad. Morwn gelog. Gyrymys hydd mosgarwch, sgydach anam a chafregar, symach chefan a bountrich, nach dwyd salwad dim chele. Fer the hellest Garafurus the thing Schat the hair said coders for the haltish but morun Shaunam para Gambavajan Mahela Skanchikak Tugachi Leayeris Leifnius Achand Hamertal Hadish Is Chanaich mi fertigish Skussen good at me sandalu
Next, I've not played anything by Chris Wood for ages, so from the wonderful None the Wiser album, this is The Wolfless Years.
As they lived through the wolfless years, the deer forgot how to live like deer. They grazed the hillsides with no fear, and they played down by the fountains. But when at last the wolf returned, overnight all the deer relearned, and to the forest they returned, and the wildflowers once more filled the mountains. Sometimes a silver lining, sometimes no such thing. Roll up your sleeves and begin. Through all the soulless years of noise, when all we wanted were our toys, like greedy little girls and boys, how we clamoured for our stuff. As the hunger comes again and wildflowers fill the glen, we'll live like women, we'll live like men who know the meaning of a silver lining, sometimes no such thing. Roll up your sleeves and begin.
The great Chris Wood there. I'm going to finish tonight with a slice of classic folk rock. But just before I do, don't forget about all the live music you can support this week. There's the usual session, Wednesday night O'Donnell's, Thursday night Folk Club in Ramsey, Friday night session at the Mitre in Ramsey, and the Sunday session is at the Ginger Hall. There's also Carsie Blanton on Saturday night at the Centenary Centre. And you can get in touch with me by emailing folkshow@manxradio.com. Feel free to make requests or let me know about any folky music that you might be promoting or playing. So here's Tamlin from Fairport Convention's classic Legion Leaf. Perhaps the classic lineup of Fairport Convention with Sandy Denny on vocals, Ashley Hutchin on bass, Dave Mattox on drums, Simon Nicol on guitar, Dave Swarbrick on violin and Richard Thompson on guitar. This is Tamlin. See you next week.
That's where gold in your hair to travel to Carter Hall, for young Tamlin is there. None that go by Carter Hall, but they leave him a pledge, either their mantles of green or else their maidenhead. Janet tied her kirtle of green Tamlin says, lady, pull no more. And why come you to Carter Hall without command from me? I'll come and go, young Janet said, and ask no leave of thee. She's gone to her father as fast as go can she. Well, then spoke her father dear, and he spoke meek and mild. Oh, and alas, Janet, he said, I think you go with child. Well, if that be so, Janet said, myself shall bear the blame. Not a night in all your hall shall get the baby's name. For if my love white steed and pulled the rider down. For I'll ride on the white steed, the nearest to the town. For I was an earthly knight, they give me that renown. Oh, they will turn me in your arms to a newt or a snake, but hold me tight and fear not, I am your baby's father. And they will turn me in your arms into a lion bold, but hold me tight and fear not, and you will love your child. And they will turn me in your arms into a naked knight, cloak me in your mantle and keep me out of sight. In the middle of the night, she heard the bridle ring. She heeded what he did say